All right. So sorry about that. My stream got ended somehow, and I'm not sure what happened. Um, but we're back again. Goodness gracious, I don't know how that happened. It just stopped on me, I suppose. All right, so we're back again. I've cut these all up. We're working on getting these bin markers back on the downbeat. So I've already stretched them to where, because I want this one beat to be open. And then I want it to start swelling after the one beat. So I've cut all the ends of each one of these off to boom, to where I can put like a kick drum or something on that one beat, because that's what I'm trying to do with this. And I got it to where it's all evened up in the grid, which is what I want. These cuts are a little bit late, but I'm going to be using all four of these together to loop out. So, yeah, this is how we're going to start this one off. So now it's boom, it's a perfect loop. And I guess you guys probably didn't hear it before because the stream ended. I'm not sure where it ended. But yeah, picking right back up where we left off. Here we go. So we got spaced. Boom. All right. So that's exactly what I'm trying to do right there. Is just have those little spaces, so we can get like a really big like kick drum in there, and so it kind of like ebbs and flows. And that's kind of what I'm going to do with the melody too. So this is going to kind of be like my chord progression, and then I'm going to try to find, actually, you know what? We've got that little guitar, so we might as well use this little dual guitar melody. Is that the one that I wanted? Maybe it was nylon guitar. Let me listen to which one. It was something. No, I think it was a dual guitar melody. All right, we're gonna drag this in here and see if we can cut up a little bit from this. This is super quiet. And this is at 110. So let's go ahead and just speed it up a little bit. Speed it up by 1.15. And then it's in C minor, and we're in D major. So D major is G minor, C, D, E, F, G. So I need to go up. Oh, wait, no. C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G. So 7, maybe, if I can do math, or if I can count. There's no math involved in counting, but that is not even close. Let's try again. Maybe it's 8. Maybe it's supposed to be A. Wait, no. It should be 6 because it's C sharp minor. Maybe 4. Maybe it is A. To come in on the second beat, and then now I'm just going to try to line this up with the grid. I'm just going to take the one run of each of these, the ding 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 ding, and then I'm going to try to make sure everything is kind of lined up. We're going to do the same thing. I'm not going to do the math on this because I don't want to, so I'm just going to stretch it out how I normally stretch things out with the bend marker. And we're going to put these notes on where I want them to be. So this is what we're going to do. Boom. And then, so I usually grab the peak of each note and just drag it onto the last bar. And we're just going to do every other one here. We'll give it a little bit of swag here and there. Ba-dum-bum-bum. But mainly, I'm just going to do every bar. Or every half bar. And my light just went out. We're full of technical malfunctions tonight. Lots of technical difficulties in the stew. I just got new monitors today, so maybe it has something to do with it. Maybe I'm just cursed for buying new monitors. I don't know. Let's see. Boom. And then I'm going to bring this out here, and then we're going to pull this one. Oh, we'll just leave that. All right, let's see what that sounds like. Okay, so that's really not great. It's kind of stagnant, so I'm going to swag these out a little bit. All right, we'll give them a little bit more rhythm. So I put them on just like straight eighth notes, but now I kind of want to give them a little melody, give them a little swing, so I can just kind of do whatever I want. I've already got the markers set right at the peak of each one of these notes, so I can pretty much do whatever I want to it. Like if I want to keep going and change it up, I can do that. But let's see what we Let's see what happens when we duplicate this. Whoops. Let me get out of here. Take this whole thing, duplicate it. All right, let's see what this sounds like. And then on the first one, I think I'm going to cut off that last note. So we're just going to do this. Cut it off. And we'll give it a little fade out. Fade this one in, and then boom. And I think that's pretty cool little dual melody we got going on here. Duplicate it and see what happens. Okay, and then I'm going to turn the bend marker off on this, and then we're going to do, so I'm going to give it a little, I want to do some intro drums. I don't ever really do intro drums. I always just let a little melody go out, so I'm going to pull in a little kit. Just going to get a little, go to my instruments, bring in a little drum kit, a little impact kit. It could be anything, honestly, because I'm just going to put it into nothing. We're going to do the 60s a go-go. I don't even know what this kit is, but it doesn't really matter, to be honest with you. As long as we got a kick drum in here, I'm going to change my sample rate back down to 32. All right, let me give myself a little intro here. Get my click back on. Oh, I forgot it starts on 1 with me. Let's see. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that's kind of hard hard to do. I'm used to playing with a melody starting on the one beat, so I'm gonna have to really hone my ears in here. 2, 3. Okay, cool. So that was pretty simple little drum melody. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open this up. These should be all. All right, I'm gonna get rid of these extra tracks because I don't need these. How can I remove this? You know what, doesn't matter. I'm gonna leave it in there for right now. I'm gonna select all of these. I'm gonna go add bus channel, and I'm gonna do intro drums. Intro drum bus. Boom. So now with this, I can kind of like put these drums in outer space. So pretty easy. First thing that I want to do is, so I have Pro Q, Fab Filter, just a regular EQ, but it has this setting called phone, which kind of makes it sound like it's in like you're over the phone or like it's in a phone booth or whatever. So I'm going to do this, but I'm going to roll the highs out. So I'm going to select all of these, and I'm going to bring this whole grid back a little bit. I already know that I want to like cut off all those highs for the hats. So let's see what this sounds like. Okay, for some reason those decided not to go to the intro drum bus, so I'm going back and reselecting them and putting them where they're supposed to go. Here we go. Okay, cool. So that's my little intro right there. I'm good with that. It doesn't have to be anything too complicated with the drums, just to kind of like, I kind of want to just let you know that it's going to be, the melody is not starting on the one. That's why I want that kick drum down on the one, because that's where I want to bring in the bass, where it really like starts to bang on that one, and the swell starts on the 2, and the little melody, the little picking melody that we just cut up starts on the downbeat. So then when I come into this, it's going to be, you know, a little bit bigger. And you know what? Actually, I might do all of this. Let's see. I'm going to duplicate this track. I'm going to put this here. Boom. I'm going to duplicate this track. Boom. I'm going to put the duplications for this on another track. Boom. So now I'm going to slide this up here. I'm going to slide my drums up here. So then this is my intro. And you know what? I actually might just do an intro bus all together. I might throw the drums, both those melodies and everything, into this drum bus just to have that like really cut off intro sound. But let's see how it sounds, and then because it'll make it really clean when we come in and it starts to bop a little bit. Cool. So that actually worked out. Sometimes it doesn't work because you got instruments in different frequencies and stuff. But that was really simple. Like sometimes I can, you know, it takes a little bit longer to do that, but that worked out just fine. I'm super happy with that. So now I got that, and then we're coming into the clean melodies. So then we got that. Then it comes up and it sounds, you know, really good. So, but now I'm going to need some type of riser. Let's see. I think there's some stuff in this vocal. Let's see if we can pick something out of this vocal that we can use as a riser. This is awful quiet. All right, let's see. I'm going to drag this out here so it's by itself. You know, I'm not mad about that. We'll take that. That's fine. Perfect. This is how, just make a riser out of anything. Doesn't matter. Just turn it around. See what key this is in. C sharp minor. It's not going to be in key. All right. I'm going to bring it back to where this note, bring it back to where this note kind of trails off the end. I'm going to remove this extra track. Now we're going to tune it down one, see if that is in key. I don't feel like... Cool, I'm good with that. Sounds good. We're going to slap some reverb on this bad boy just to make it sound good. I'm going to put some saturation on there. Let's see. Background box, let's see. I'm going to call it Vox Riser so I know what the heck's going on. Let's see. We're going to call these swells main, and we're going to call this staccato melody. I think that'll fit. Yep, sure enough. And we're going to call these in drums. I'll try to label this stuff as I go. Sometimes I forget. We're going to call this in swells and in melody. All right, cool. So now I know what everything is. And I can continue on here. So like I said, I'm going to put some saturation on this Vox Riser. We can make this as crazy as we want, honestly. We can just give it, let's see, FX. Let's say Dreamscape. That sounds cool. Cool. That sounds great. I'm going to leave that just like that. Maybe turn the drop. Cool. And then I'm going to grab some reverb. I'm going to put on some really long, like, hall reverb on this. I'm going to put the decay on a little bit. Let's see. Digital synth hall. That sounds crazy. I would never normally pick that reverb out. We're going to do decay rate at not super crazy long, even though it is a whole maybe a little longer than that. Cool. Okay. So that sounds kind of cool for the riser. And I'm going to name that reverb too so I remember what it is. What's up, Wes? Good to see you, man. Thanks for dropping by. Let's see. Hall verb. Because I may come back to that. All right, cool. Now let's start programming some drums. Let's see. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bars. So, and then that'll put the song at about 33 seconds. So, maybe I want it to be a little bit longer than that. We'll go 2 right here. So we're going to just double this bad boy out. And this is just going to butt right up against here. Should fit perfectly right on the bar. Yeah, it looks nice. So, cool. We're going to run this out. Bada boom. Right there. I'm going to bring this riser up here since it's coming out of the intro. I'm going to get rid of the rest of this stuff. If I want some more, I'll just bring it back in because I got it on my desktop right now. So I'm just going to use that from that chorus riser right now. So, I mean, right now, other than like a drum kit that doesn't matter what it sounds like because we put a crazy EQ on it, I've just used all samples. I've just flipped all this into samples just from the random samples that Charlton sent me and kind of tuned them together and chopped them up and stretched them out and made them kind of what I wanted them to sound like. I knew, like, coming into it, I had an idea that I wanted stuff to, like the main melody not to start on the 1 so I could have a big, like, kick hit on the 1. A big kick or big 808 hit or something. So that's what I'm going to do. That, like, I was able to take these random samples. I didn't even know what they were going to be, and this is what we're going to start doing. So I'm going to dig through my folder. I'm going to try to find a little kick, little 808 going on here. Let's see. I was going through a bunch of stuff earlier. All this lo-fi stuff. You know what? Let's see if we got a lo-fi 808. No, that's not what I wanted. You know, I'm not mad about that. And you know, if I send this to sample 1 in D, I should just be able to play in C. It would mess me up later if I came back to mix, but I think I'm going to remember that that's what I'm doing. So, and everything is in D major. So if I just send this to sample 1, I can play in C. and then it makes my life a little bit easier. Maybe. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay. Normally I wouldn't start with the 808. I would start with the other percussion first. But we're gonna go ahead and do bass first, because why the fuck not? It's my world, baby. Do whatever I want. It's crazy. Here we go. We're gonna start the click. Give me a 4 count to come in. Yeah, and we're gonna rock it. Oh, it's so weird. It's so weird. Okay, I'm gonna use these drums really quick, so I know where my 1 beat is, because it's so weird to follow those on the back beat. I set this challenge ahead of myself, not thinking of that I wouldn't be able to count. All right, here we go. That is not what I wanted to do. Here we go. I'm gonna start the loop here. Okay, so that's kind of close to what I want to do. So I'm just gonna kind of make this in a different dun dun. Dun dun dun. Cool. Okay. So I'm going to try to quantize the rest of this and see if it doesn't screw it up. Boom. Boom, ba-dum. I'm going to make sure this really gets... Cool. Alright, so that'll be the first line. Let's get Alex. This beat is sick. Thank you, man. It's getting there. We're just now getting started, man. We're not even 30 minutes in. But thank you. So also with this, I kind of am just doing a real kind of like lazy 808, kind of like trap style beat. So I'm probably gonna do the same thing. I'm probably gonna do the same thing with the kick drum. Cause that's kind of like trap classic. It really makes the 808 hit if you just put your kicks right at the beginning there. And I might throw some kicks that are like off from where the 808 melody is, just to kind of like pop through and say what's up. But for the most part, I'm gonna just run the kicks along with the 808 and side chain them to it, and just make that kick just bang. So let's see what we got so far here. now we can do actual drums for this. I think this is a melody is probably good enough. So I'm going to bring in, let's see, I'm going to use my own kick drum. I'm going to use the house kick here. All right, cool. So I could just go play this on the drum kit, but I already got the sample, so why would I do that? So this is just from, I have an acoustic drum kit in the other room. I mic'd up, took a bunch of samples. My buddy Christian, Slime Cinema, chopped them all up. They're free on my website if you want to go get them. Yeah, it's beefstewdio.com, STEWDIO. Free download if you want to throw me a few bucks in Cash App, but don't feel obligated to do so. Yeah, we got some kicks in there, kicks and all types of stuff. There's like 120 something samples in there, all one shot drum and percussion samples from my house, so all fresh stuff. Okay, we're gonna make this mono first of all, and also figure out why the fuck my thing is gacking out already. Probably should have restarted my computer before I started doing this. 808 kick. Turn this 808 down. Banging. And now the kick is banging. Alright, so I'm just going to line all these kick drums up with the grid for the 808. This is pretty simple business here. I'm just looking at where the notes are, copying, and just running them on down. Just click, click, click. And it doesn't really matter how long they are because they're going to get cut off anyway. Boom, boom. So this is like a bit of a tedious process. Basically, just duplicating the kick drum, lining it up with the 808 MIDI right here. This is just audio kick drum. So I'm just duplicating all these audio notes. Boom. And that's the whole bar. And then I know this doubles over, so I'm going to go ahead and just duplicate it. Boom. And that is done. Now I can go ahead and sidechain my kick drum to the 808, so it kind of ducks down. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that while I'm thinking about it. So I'm just looking for a compressor. I just used a stock compressor for all my side chaining stuff because it's really, really simple. So we're going to compress the 808 by side chaining it to the kick. Boom. Just like that. And then we're going to dial in the little threshold and stuff. So this is a pretty busy section, so I'll just loop this section. Turn the attack all the way down for this. This is pretty quick too. Cool. Now my kick drum is really not sounding that great. So I'm gonna go ahead and EQ it too while I'm thinking about it. We're gonna get it out of that. I'm just gonna use a Pro EQ. This is the stock PreSonus EQ. Normally I'll reach for the Fab filter, but this is where we're at. So, okay, see, we got a lot going on in this like 40, 50 hertz, and we want to get that out of there. That's not what I want. I already got the 808 for that, so I'm gonna do a high pass. I'm gonna do that high pass at 48. I'm gonna do a super hard one. So I want a lot of attack on my kick drum. So I'm bringing up this mid-range. All right, let's see what it sounds like. Cool, now they sound good together. So you can listen to it. They're phasing the crap crap out of each other with that EQ off, but then with it on, just fine. All right, so we got that now. I'm going to pick out a little snare drum. I kind of want just like a really destroyed snare drum. So I'm going to find something that's got a good amount of resonance to it, and then I'm just going to saturate the shit out of it. I just want something that's like, it just sounds like you're ripping someone's head off, you know? So I'm not going to use my own kits. We're going to use Christian. He has his own drum stuff that he made, great at sound design. He just builds all of these things in Massive. He just starts from scratch and just builds drums like a crazy person. It's super impressive. So I know he's got some snares in here. So let's listen to heavy. These are probably going to be a little too dubsteppy for what I'm looking for, but we'll see if we can't carve one up. Maybe. Okay, that might work. So you're like, what the hell is this? You're going to use that? But, yeah, I am. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to EQ the crap out of it first because it's got the resonance that I'm looking for. It's got the nastiness that I'm looking for. It's just got way too much high end and it sounds way too clean, and I don't want it to sound clean. I want it to sound dirty. So go back up here and get Pro Q, and we're going to drag that bad boy in here. And then I'm just going to loop this snare because I kind of got an idea what it sounds like. Normally I would do this within the context of the song, but I'm just going to like... See, there we go, ripping someone's head off. All right, so I'm going to roll this out a couple times. We're just going to put it on the 3 real quick, and then I'm going to listen to what it sounds like with the kick and everything. So, okay, so I'm pretty okay with that. It's still got a little more top end than I want it to have, so I'm going to roll. Oh my gosh, this is going to have like nothing left by the time I get done with it. This might not be the snare drum to use. You know what, maybe I could send it down that hall. Let's send it down that hall reverb that I made earlier and see if that kind of sweetens it up for me a little bit. Cool. That's not bad. I'm not mad at that. So I'm going to bring my other window over here, and we're going to run this all the way out to down. Okay. So, cool. Now we get that. Now we need to see some hats. Let's see what this sounds like coming in. I'm going to unsolo everything. I feel like there's a couple notes at the end of that bass line that did not get kick drums on them. And I'm right. There it is. Boom. I knew there was another note in there. Maybe 2 notes. There should be 2 there. Dum-dum-dum. Cool. Oh. That was not where I wanted those. But there should also be... Also be 2 here, I believe. Yep. Alright, cool. So now I'm going to delete the second half of these kick drums since I missed one because I wasn't paying close enough attention. It happens. Sometimes I just try to go really fast. Bow. Okay. Sweet. So this is our snare. And now I kind of want a nasty hat too. I want a nasty hat. I don't know, like, let me get this mixer window out of here so I can see if you guys are... Oh, you can barely hear me? Oh, my bad. Is that better? I don't talk into the microphone too well sometimes. Appreciate that. Got a shot. Yeah, so I'm gonna continue. You know what? I can just turn my microphone up. Fuck it. All right. So I'm gonna continue going on with here. I'm gonna look for a little hat, a little something. See what we got, and I might do. Let's see. I might throw my hat into sample 1 and just oh, thank you, man. I appreciate that. I might throw my hat into sample 1 and just kind of like play with like the pitch of it as I go. So this is not normally how I work. Let's see. I'm going to play it through and we'll see what these hats sound like. Kind of like the first one. Sweet. So we're going to throw this hat into new sample 1. And you know, I don't normally do hats like this or any drums like this, but I did it a few weeks ago. I did it with all my drums, but I just MIDI mapped them. So this should be the main one. So I'm just going to go through here and click and MIDI map these. Let me get this window out of here so you guys can see what I'm doing. So we're going to turn this window capture off real quick. Boom. All right, then you guys can actually see me working in here. Okay. So I kind of want it to go, did it. I kind of want it to be real staccato and like straightforward. So I don't want it to trill in like a high way. We're going to do 64th notes. No, 32nd notes. We're going to do a whole octave up. And maybe a quarter bar. See what that sounds like. And we're going to take a couple out of the middle, maybe. See what that sounds like. No, we're going to take all those off the end. We're just going to try and make these hats sing a little bit. want this to be like real jerky. Cat. I don't know why. I don't really want to swag out the hats too much. I can just make them swing, but that's kind of boring. I do that all the time. So we're gonna make them jerk. We're gonna make this like a little glitchy maybe. All right. And then I'm gonna put it back on 16ths. Bring it back down to the C. I like that. Weird. I'm going to get these off the 16ths. There you go, 30 seconds. Okay, let's go 64ths. Okay, cool. So that's the first little part of the hats. I got to make these sound good because right now they don't sound good. Also, the snare is weird and not coming through, so I'm about to put a clap in here. Okay. I'm going to put a clap in here too on top of the snare because it is not hitting at all for me right now. We're just going to duplicate that out now and then run it all the way out with the snares. Keep working on these hats. So a lot of this is just going to be programming hats because I want these hats to kind of change up and kind of jerk you around with the melody here, give it kind of something interesting. take hats off of the 1 and off of the 3, so we're not off of the one where there's kick drum at least. So that's the full loop. We're going to double that out again. Alright, so that's cool for hats right now. I'm going to go on maybe to some open hats or some weird percussion. Actually, I want to do some stuff with that. With the snare to make the snare kind of like, I don't know, a little more. Give us some backbeats on the snare. That's what we're going to do next. So. And I gotta make this kick come through, actually, otherwise I need to pick another kick because this thing is just not doing it for me right now. My house kick acoustic drums is not like Boss beat drive. We'll see if that let's see how all this stuff sounds before we get too carried away. We're about 48 seconds into the song. All right, let's listen to it. So I know right there on this second one, the second time through, I want everything to cut out. So I'm going to just start cutting stuff out. Boom. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to squeeze this back. Okay. And I'm going to kill this. Boom. I'm going to kill all this. All these hats right here. Boom. Because we need some dropouts. We need some flow. Because right now it's just this weird little loop. And it sounds like everything's playing all at once. So we can cut stuff out. Make stuff go a little kind of cool here. Make it kind of cool. Give it a little air. Give it a little room to breathe. Now that every kind of frequency spectrum is kind of filled up, we're going to give it some room to breathe. So let's let that note hit hard. Okay. So I think this has kind of got a little flow to it. Did a couple little cuts. Let's see. Okay, that's cut that. We're going to take out these notes. We're going to fade this out. And these two. You know what? We'll take out this 808 too. All right, then I'm going to bring back we're going to duplicate the melody, duplicate track, and then we're going to bring this crazy melody. Duplicate, we're going bring it down, and I'm gonna make this just nuts. Is what I really want to do. Is this the whole thing? Yeah, it is. I'm gonna unfade this. So I want to make this sound like something completely different. I'm gonna grab the saturator again, and we're gonna try to do something crazy with it because it's got some cool little lo-fi settings on it that I don't ever really use because they're so fucking extreme. But now it's gonna be the time for that. So. Down an octave. I'm gonna bring these swells over here. What the hell? Oh, those weren't the swells. All right, bring these over here into the right place, and then we're gonna raise these up an octave. See what happens. Okay, that sounds terrible. We're gonna bring these back down. We're gonna leave them in the background. I don't like that either. Let's see. What else could we do here? Maybe we just leave it back up to where it was at -3. Wait, is it at negative? Oh, it's at 3. No wonder it didn't sound right. It needs to be -9. Okay. All right. 3, 4. All right, that was kind of close to what I wanted to do. Let's try this again. this now that we have saturated it. I'm going to duplicate this track complete so I can turn down this second set of hats quite a bit. Stuff back, rolling the drum kit back, rolling the hats back so we can kind of give it a chance to swell. We're going to bring up our riser, put it back in the same place. This guy's pretty cool, so we're going to do that guy there, and then we're going to bring it all back. That's a nice little chorus right there. We are at 1 minute and 4 seconds. So we run all that out a couple times. We'll be at a couple minutes. Ooh. And then we can start adding some more cool stuff and taking stuff out. Doing a little mixing. Yeah. I also... What was our D major is what key we're in. I need to put this down here. D major. D. Key of D. Okay. I'm going to put, this is kind of my tried and true toy for vocal samples that are just like in the background. Quadrabox. We're going to put that on our riser. We're going to do the key of D. D major. And I'm going to actually every other bar, so it kind of carries on, and we'll kind of tune it up a little bit to -1. We're going to put -3. This one, a couple more down. Duplicate this one, put it in here. Just throwing this thing around in here. And then, yeah, we'll see how this sounds and plays out. And we'll put one more. We'll skip a bar and put 1 1/2 on the end, so it sounds really weird. I'm going to try to put some little snare hits on the offbeat. I've pitched them up and turned them down a little bit. This whole thing is kind of cool. I like it so far. So I'm just going to run it out. We're going to run it out. Boom. Just like this. Duplicate it. Let's see how this we're going to run the verse out one more time, and then I'm just going to do volume automation all the way to the end. Oh no, maybe I did something bad. Maybe not. Copy. And paste. Damn, we're really only at 220. All right. Oh, I guess we can get. We'll throw the whole intro in here again. See if we can get a couple more bars out of this bad boy. Whoops. That's not what we want. Copy and paste. Copy. See if I know how to copy and paste here. Lord have mercy on my soul. Paste. There we go. I'll take off that last note of the last one. All right, I'm happy with that. All right, let's mix this bad boy. Already did quite a bit of mixing while I was going through, so it shouldn't take too long here. Let's see. Make sure everything's named right. Verse, hat, chorus, hat. All right. First off, I know I want to get some reverb on the swells and on and then I also have another reverb set for my hats and stuff, so I'm going to see what this sounds like on here. This might be good. Maybe nice and sweet. Bad boys, we want these. Hear anything that I need to change in this. It sounds pretty full all the way through. Probably bust all the drums together and make them sound a little bit better. So we're gonna do that. All right, bum bum bum. Add bus for selected channels. Drum bus. And we're going to go into UA and we're going to put, man, this daggum, I'm telling you, this pull tech is incredible on drums. It just brings them all together. So now I'm not gonna do anything really crazy. I'm gonna limit squash the master into a limiter. We're just gonna do a quick master. I'm gonna go boom. I'm gonna give myself a little bit of headroom. We're gonna go negative 3 dB limiting. I'm gonna go soft clip into it. I'm not gonna gain it up into it because it's pretty loud already. Let's make sure we don't do anything crazy. Okay, cool. So now I'm going to go to the loudest part of the song, which is the verse. I'm just going to loop it. And bring in, I'm just going to use waves. This is what I've been using for mastering pretty much all the time now. Is just this waves, Abbey Roads, mastering thing. I have Ozone too. I used to use that. But this has come out with some pretty good sounds. So usually just wow, it's gonna blow the whole thing through the roof. That's a problem. Let's see what's going on in here because that's driving me nuts. What are we boosting so hard? There's no makeup gain in the limiter. Oh, the mix is plus 70 something. Okay. Alright, let's see if it sounds good soft clipping into this. We're going to do 0 dB limiting. Attack is fast. Gain is coming from. This is a low pass. This is just +2. There's so much gain coming through here. It's a lot. Jeez. Maybe I'm just going to turn everything down. I don't know. Yeah, it kind of sounds a little bit too intense. Do I have gain on any of the limiters? No. I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure where all this crazy gain is coming from, but we're going to turn it down. We're going to dial it back a little bit. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna cut my mic and mix this down, and we're gonna have another wrap. That's pretty much mastered where I want it to be. We're gonna go call it. Let me bring this over here so I can show you. TA Twitch 3.16.22, and we're gonna do it between the loop. Whoops. Give it a little bit of air at the end. Start it from the very beginning. Give it a little more than that. Alright, song, export mix down. Everything's looking right. I'm going to put this in a different folder. It's going to go into 2021 mixdowns. And we need a TA Twitch folder because I haven't made one of those yet. So I'm going to do that real quick. So I'm going to go new folder, TA Twitch. Boom. And that's going to be a folder that these go into now. Okay, boom. And now let's mix it down and listen to what we did. I'm going to cut my mic off so it's not doing crazy reverb stuff. And then we'll wrap it up. So thank you guys so much for coming. Here is what we made today.